Welcome to SS class. Today I am going to teach you SS of Standard 7. Today's chapter, that is 9th chapter, that is regional cultures. Then regional cultures developed. This chapter tells us that how different cultures in India came into being. This lesson tells about different cultures came into India during this period, and it is especially with the emergence of different dances and languages. Here also described about the dance forms and also described about the emergence of different languages. Regional cultures are generally the product of complex process of intermixing local traditions with the ideas from other parts of subcontinent. There was in this chapter we have also know about the intermixing of local traditions with the ideas of other subcontinents. That also we can see in this chapter. Let's start our lesson. That is regional cultures. The making of regional cultures. That is the first chapter. In this first lesson, we have to discuss about the emergence of or development of Malayalam. The Chera kingdom of Mahodayapuram was established in the 9th century. You also take a test. The emergence of Malayalam. That is at the time of Chera kingdom, the Mahodayapuram was established in the 9th century, and the present day of Kerala, and it is like that Malayalam was spoken in this area. The rulers introduced Malayalam language and the script in their inscriptions. And in the inscriptions of that time of the rulers, they introduced the Malayalam language as a script. So from the script, we know that the development also take place at this time. Can you see the early Kerala inscriptions? The picture of early Kerala inscriptions that is composed in Malayalam. That is a different script, no? In the Cheras also drew upon the Sanskrit traditions. They also have a Sanskritic traditions. The temple theatre of Kerala, which is traced in this period, that is, they borrowed stories from the Sanskrit epics. They also take stories from the Sanskrit epics. In the 12th century, interestingly to know, the 14th century text like a Leela Tilakam, that was composed in Manipravalam. There is Leela Tilakam is also called diamonds and corals because of the intermixing of two languages, that is Sanskrit and a regional language. That is a Manipravalam include the intermixing of two languages, that is a Sanskrit with a regional language. That is a local language. If you have a local language Malayalam that mingle with this Sanskritic language, that is a Manipravalam. First grammatic book, that is Leela Tilakam, was also composed this time. Then what about the Jagannath cult? In other regions, regional cultures grow around the religious traditions. That is a best example of this is the cult of Jagannath. That is Jagannath, that means the Lord of the world. That is the name for Vishnu. Jagannatha, that is for the Lord Vishnu. That temple was at Puri in Odisha. Nowadays it is called Odisha, that ancient name Orissa. To this date, local tribal people make the wooden image of the deity, which suggested that the deity was originally a local god, which was later identified with Vishnu. This is a deity, Vigraham, Vishnuvinte Vigrahate Aradhika. It was made in a wooden image. Can you see this icons of that palm leaf manuscript here? Palm leaf manuscript of the icons of that Balabhadra, Subhadra and Jagannatha. That is a manuscript that we found in Odisha. Nowadays Odisha, that is script. Okay. Then as the temple gained importance as the cultures and pilgrimage, the authority of social and political matters also increased. All those who occupied Orissa, such as Mughals and Marathas and English East India Company, gained control over this temple. Then any time this English or Mughals attacked, their main aim is the temple. That is because they would make their rule acceptable to the local people. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവരും അറ്റാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നവരെല്ലാം ആദ്യം അവരുടെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഏതിനാണ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്? ടെമ്പിളിന്. ബിക്കോസ് they wanted to accept by local people. The rulersനെ accept ചെയ്യണവരെ local people. That's why they gave more importance to these temples. Here is a Jagannath temple. Can you see this picture? Jagannatha temple at Puri. Okay. Then Rajaputs and other important groups, that is the 19th century. The region constitutes most of the present day Rajasthan was called Rajputana by British. That a part of the Rajasthan that time, that is the 19th century, the British called it as a Rajputana because they were inhabited by only a main group, that is Rajaputs. And because there are several groups who identified themselves as a Rajput in many areas of the northern central India. But there are several peoples other than Rajputs live in Rajasthan. That is a main Rajputs area that is in Rajasthan. That is a Rajputana called by this British. And the present day state Rajasthan was ruled by various Rajput families. One such example, that is Prithviraj. That is Prince Rajasimha Raj Singh of Baiknar. That's one such a great Rajput king. Then the stories about the Rajput heroes were recorded, the poems and songs which were recited by specially trained minstrels. And the ordinary people were also attracted by the stories. The Rajput's heroes and their poems and songs were interested by these ordinary people and depicted dramatic situations and range of strong emotions, loyalty, friendship, love, valor, anger, etc. All these qualities are depicted in these poems or stories of these Rajputs. Then the story of Kathak. What is a Kathak? Let us look at the history of one dance form, that is a Kathak. How it originated. Then Kathak is now associated with several parts of North India. The term Kathak is derived from a Katha. The word used to Sanskrit to other languages of the story, it is a Katha. And the Kathaks were originally cast of storytellers in temples in North India. It is a storytelling. കഥാപ്രസംഗം എന്നൊക്കെ ആധുനിക കാലത്ത് പറയുന്ന ആ രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു സ്റ്റോറി ടെല്ലിംഗ് ആണ് ഏത് കഥക്. That was emerged during this the part of North India. Under the Mughal emperors of their nobles, Kathak was performed in the court, where it acquired its present features and developed into a form of dance with a distinctive styles. These Mughal emperors patronized this Kathak dances. And at this time, there are other classical dances emerged during this time. This is Kathak dances. It's a court paintings. Can you see this Kathak dance? Then other dance forms also recognized as a classical during this time. That is the emergence of Bharatanatyam, that is in Tamil Nadu, Kathakali, Kerala, Odissi, Odisha, then Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh, Manipuri and Manipur. These are the classical dances developed during this time also. Okay. Then paintings also developed during this time. Paintings, that is a miniature painting. Another traditions that developed in the different ways that of miniature painting. That is miniatures. That is a small sized paintings. That is done in watercolor on cloth or a paper. That is a miniature paintings. The earliest miniatures were on palm leaves or a wood. Then earliest paintings were on a palm leaves or in a wood. Some of the most beautiful of them found in the Western India and were used in Jaina text. The Mughal emperors Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, they also patronized this painters. അപ്പം മുഗൾ കാലഘട്ടത്തിലാണ് മിനിയേച്ചർ പെയിൻറ്റിങ്സിന് ഡെവലപ്മെൻ്റ് ആയ, അതായത് ജഹാംഗീർ, ഷാജഹാൻ അവരെല്ലാം എന്തിൻ്റെ പരിപോഷിപ്പിച്ചു? ഈ മിനിയേച്ചർ പെയിൻറ്റിങ്സിന് വളരെയധികം പ്രാമുഖ്യം കൊടുത്തു. വിത്ത് ദ ഡിക്ലൈൻ ഓഫ് മുഗൾസ് എംപയർ മെനി പെയിൻറ്റേഴ്സ് മൂവ്ഡ് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് ടു ദ കോർട്ട് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ദ എമർജൻസ് ഓഫ് റീജിയണൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്സ്. ബട്ട് ദ ഡിക്ലൈൻ ഓഫ് ദിസ് Mughal empire that also declined the paintings of that time. Here is a miniature painting, that is Akbar resting during a hunt in the Mughal miniature. Okay, it's a picture of Akbar's rules. He was resting in the after he went to hunting. No, okay. That's about today's class. You read it well and studied it well. Okay.